We come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in His holy word. He's never failed me yet. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can't turn around. We come this far by faith. Welcome back to your HBCU College Football Wrap-Up Show for Week 12 on your special spiritual sports segment on a Sunday. Alliteration, I love it, on CEEJAY Sports.com, where I give you your sports in a sermon style and twist it spiritually. I'm CJ, so let's make it do, what it do. The MEAC was on and cracking in the final weekend of the regular season of college football as I highlight your scores sermon style as Delaware State was hammered by Howard 41-34 as Terrence LaFall ran outside of his mind with 253 rushing yards and 2 TDs. Run, Terrence, run. Hampton clobbered Morgan State 27-17 as Jeremiah Schwartz had 113 bone-crushing yards and 2 TDs. Savannah State was thanking God that the season was over as they only won 1 game, and it wasn't yesterday as they were blasted by South Carolina State 27-13 with 214 passing yards, 2 passing TDs, and 1 rushing TD from Richard Q, while overtime was needed between rivals North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central, and A&T came out on top 22-16 as Mike Mayhew rushed the rock for 116 yards and a score. And with the attendance of over 32,000, which is almost 30,000 less than last year, the Blue Cross Blue Shield Florida Classic in my home city of Orlando is still the biggest in the land as the mighty Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman muscle pass Florida A&M 21-16 with 120 passing yards and a score from Quentin Williams as the Wildcats wrap up the MEAC championship and an FCS playoff berth. Popping HBCU marching band 90s over to the SWAC as Auburn manhandled as expected Alabama A&M 51-7, Mississippi Valley State literally spanked Texas Southern 34-3 as Garrett Jones passed for 148 yards and a score and rushed for 89 yards and a score. Jackson State outmuscled, outplayed, and outshined. Alliteration, I love it. Alcorn State 37-11 in the Magnolia Heritage Classic as Raheem Sims had 152 breaking yards, tackles, and a score. Prairie View was defeated by Arkansas Pine Bluff by one measly point, 42-41, as Justin Billings showed enough paid the bills with his 163 rushing yards and a TD. And finally, in the OVC, Tennessee State was whipped, was walloped, and was whacked by Tennessee Martin 35-26. For your Week 12 standings in the MEAC, as I mentioned earlier, Bethune-Cookman reigned supreme at the top of the mountain as the conference champions as they finished the season undefeated in the conference. Howard placed second and North Carolina A&T is third in the SWAC. Alabama A&M still sits in the King's Chair at number 1 in the East. However, Jackson State beat Alabama State on October 13th and will play Arkansas Pine Bluff, who is number 1 in the West, on December 8th for the SWAC championship. If your ears tuned in to any part of the HBCU wrap-up show during the season, I thank you so very much for the support, and I'm greatly appreciative. Make sure you keep it locked on CJSports.com, and make sure you're giving that follow on Twitter at CJ Sports, and like me on Facebook at CJ Act. With that said, tune in tomorrow for more updates in your spiritual sports segment where I sprinkle a little spirituality in your sports. I'm CJ. Be blessed, and remember that trouble don't last always, and have a sensational Sunday.